Hello, I'm Teacher Robin. Welcome to another live streaming class. If this is your first time to join us, let me explain how the classes work. Today, we're going to be talking about how to talk about routines in English. So if you have a question during the class, you can write your question in the comment section and I'll be checking them at the end. So if you want to participate, say hello, where you're joining from, and after the lesson, I have some questions for you to practice. So you can do all of that by writing in the comments section. So why have I chosen to talk about routines today? So a routine is something that we do on a regular basis. And when we do something like studying English, it's important to establish a routine. So I'm going to give you the correct vocabulary, the right grammar to use to talk about routines in English. So, to talk about routines in English, it is important to know how to use adverbs of frequency. So, this is how we express the quantity, the amount of time that we spend doing something. So, I'm going to show you lots of different examples and some sentences, and then I'm going to ask you to participate and practice by writing in the comments. So adverbs of frequency are adverbs that change or qualify the meaning of a sentence by telling us how often or how frequently something happens. So let's see what the most common adverbs of frequency are. There's lots of them, but these are the most common ones. So I've put these percentages here because that means the amount of time. So if I use the adverb of frequency always, that means 100% of the time. And then if we want to talk a little bit less, we would say often, for example, maybe 75% of the time. Okay, sometimes would be maybe 50% of the time. Rarely is 25%, and zero would be never, something that doesn't happen. Okay, so that would be 0%. In this case, with these adverbs of frequency, we always place the adverb before the verb in the sentence. So let's see some examples now. Let's see a few more and then I'll show you the examples. So in this case, we have a few more adverbs of frequency. You can play around with these a little bit. For example, times a day. Here you need to add the number. So if you do something 3 times a day, it means that in one day you do it 3 times. So you can say 2 times a day, 5 times a day, etc. And you can also change day to month, year, etc. So for example, we have live streaming classes one time, so once a week. So you can say, I join the live streaming classes once a week. Okay? We can also use the word every and then specify when. So every morning, every afternoon, every evening. You could also say the day, every Monday, every Tuesday, I watch a live streaming class, every Saturday, etc. If you want to show that something happens on the same day every week, then you would say, for example, you add an S here to the day. So you can say on Mondays, for example, on Mondays, I go to the gym. On Tuesdays, I study English. So by adding this S here, you establish a routine. Okay, some other adverbs of frequency are once in a while. So this is kind of like sometimes, maybe 50% of the time. Every now and again, also like 50%. From time to time. Okay, so another way to say sometimes or rarely between this 50 and 25%, we can use this once in a while, every now and then, from time to time. And in the case of these adverbs of frequency, some can go before the verb and some can go after, or either way, and it's both correct. So you can say 3 times a day I go to the gym, or I go to the gym 3 times a day, 3 times a week, etc. All right, now let's look at the examples. All right, I always, okay, so this is 100%, I always brush my teeth before leaving the house. We often go hiking at the weekend. So this means not every weekend, but most weekends. George brings his lunch to work 3 times a week. Sarah rarely studies English in the morning. So rarely is like almost never. It could happen, but probably not. She rarely studies English in the morning. they never go to the cinema during the week. Okay, so that means 0% of the time it does not happen. Okay, so now it's time for you to practice. I've just given you a quick overview of adverbs of frequency. I've given you some examples, and now I want you to write your specific routines in the comments. So you can talk about your daily routine, your weekly routine, your monthly routine. If you have a goal that you've set for yourself this year, a New Year's resolution, for example, you can tell us about that. Like, I want to study English every day, twice a week. I want to learn new vocabulary once a month, etc. So tell us in the comments what your routine is like. Okay, so I look forward to reading that. And as you're doing that, let me tell you more about ABBA English. So if you're joining us for the first time, you might wonder, what all do we have available for you to learn English? So you're participating in the live streaming classes, which is great. We also have a complete course, which is available on web and mobile versions. So you can study with us, even if you're a beginner or if you already have an advanced level. We have a course adapted to your needs. There are 144 units, so it's a complete course. It's based on short films, so you watch a short film and then you complete exercises related to all of your skills. So reading, writing, speaking, listening, these are all covered in the course. And if you study with us on the app, then you have access to our live English feature where you can find new content every day. So if you enjoy sports, if you enjoy politics, if you enjoy environment, all kinds of special interests for you, we personalize this content for you according to your interest and your level. So you can find that in the live English section of our app. You can also follow us on all of the social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And you can check out our blog called our ABBA Journal. There we're posting articles all the time about English grammar explanations, travel tips, English for business, all kinds of really good materials. So there are so many ways that you can learn English with us at ABBA. So I hope you take advantage of all of them, and I hope that this becomes a part of your routine learning English with us. Okay, so I see that some people are writing their routines. I'm going to give you more time and let me tell you about next week's class. So next week we will be in the month of February and we have the Oscars, which are very important. So we've decided to prepare an overview of the Oscars for you with specific accents. So many of you want to improve your English by watching movies, which is great. And some of you wonder, what accent is being used in this movie? How do I tell between British English, American English, Scottish, Irish, South African, etc.? So we're going to look at some different examples of movies that you will see at the Oscars and the different accents. So tune in for that next week. Okay, I'm going to check your comments later on today, so please keep writing again about your routines. Tell me why you're studying English, introduce yourself, and I look forward to reading those. So thanks again for watching. I hope you found this useful, and I hope to see you same time next week. Take care. Bye.